Simulation Basketball Association. It is your boy Kamish Moolah here and Moolah Verse. Let me get a hashtag Noti Gang in the chat if you're with me. We are here 1 week later. It has been a full week since we have been on stream, guys. Moolah Verse, SBA community. Where Alba Berlin is going to take on CB Canarias, shooter of the year, Christian Ross versus the MVP, Ariel Severio, and the big man of the year as well, Russ Macy, on the team of Christian Ross. Before the tip off, you know we got to make sure everything is good. Let me get the sliders. Let me know if you guys can hear me good, if it's not too much background noise. Harlow is in here, so just let me know if it's too much. Guys said I'm clean. Let's get that thumbnail on there. We're going to be rocking and rolling, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me get a hashtag OT1 in the chat. Game 3, winner go home. Drop them predictions. Who do y'all have coming out victorious in this game, guys? Talk to me. Let's go. Get these thumbnails up. Here we go. Here we go. Ariel Severio in the building. Shouting out CBC. And here we go. Without further ado, fellas, let's do it. Tyrone Webster, Russ Macy on the... And it is Jaden Blue surveying the floor. This is a huge win to go home right here. Alba and CBC, two very good teams all season long. Both ended the season with winning records. Let's see what's going on here. Tyrone Webster trying to put a move on Russ Macy, but the big man of the year stays solid without fouling. That's a good defensive possession right there. Christian Ross with the rock. What is the shooter of the year have for us? Mid-range look, that is too easy, but he misses. However, Russ Macy corrals the rebound. He misses too. Good defense right there from Tyrone Webster. Tom Ellis Jr. trying to push it up the floor. Okay, he wants to take that. Don't like that shot. Ew. Going the other way. Alba with it. Alba surveying the floor. Alba, what do you got? Ross with it. Ross to Love. Love a couple of dribbles, and he's going to be fouled. Almost finished that right there over Tom Ellis Jr. And both of these teams playing very intense defense right now. You know it's a win or go home situation. So both teams are locked in here and can't afford to give any breathing room, man. These playoffs have been crazy. Here we are, second week of the playoffs, man. This is the last game of the first round. And boy, oh boy, let's see if we can keep this thing going. First free throw is good. So many exciting things just getting ready to take place in the Moolah Verse, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that new wrestling came out. So you know we're going to hop on that and get some content on there. Second free throw, no good. He's going to split at the line. Chambers bringing it up. Shout out to my guy, Pharaoh Reigns. In the building, point guard for the High School 1 series, which will be starting April 3rd. Yes, sir. I hope you guys are ready. Step back midi. Jaden Blue off the mark. 7 viewers live. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Y'all know how we rock here in the SBA. Christian Ross with the rock. He wants a screen from Pickett. He has the MVP / defensive player of the year guarding him. And there it goes, right on cue. That is why this guy was the MVP and the defensive player of the year. So intense on defense, really locked in. And Ariel Severio, let's see if he can capitalize on his offensive shot. And he does. 2-1. Both of these teams came in with that defensive intensity. But Ariel Severio breaking the ice right there. And that is the first field goal of the night, ladies and gentlemen. That was the first field goal of the night. Good defense right there from Tyrone Webster, sending that shot away. Russ Macy gotta be quicker than that. Tom Ellis Jr. gets it to Jaden Blue, the young sharpshooter. What do you got? He wants to get it back to the general. Shout out to my guy Jay Sean Carter Jr., another high school athlete for HS1. It's good to see these guys out here. Off the miss, Devin Chambers gonna clean it up, and that's why Devin Chambers is one of those pivotal role players. And that's actually JT Carter. Pardon me, guys. I thought that was another Carter that we have in a high school series, but that's JT Carter of Madrid, and the shooter of the year, knocking down the first field goal of the night for his team. And of course, it's a 3-ball. Jaden Blue, 3 on the way, answers right back. CBC up 3, 7-4. Chris Jackson, can you answer? Let's see. Looks like they want to get Christian Ross open again. Trying to get the shooter of the year hot. Christian Ross over a couple of screens, going to the hole, off the mark. I love the defense right there from Canarias. That guy, Tyrone Webster, man, meeting him right there. Nice interior pass to Chambers, who elects to pass it out to Jaden Blue for another 3. And the young sharpshooter is feeling himself. This young guy, man, was pretty streaky during the season, but coach believes in a young Jaden Blue. He thinks he's going to mature into a very, very consistent guard at the next level. But he says it's all up to Jaden Blue and how much work he's going to put in and how bad he wants it. Ariel Severio bringing it up. Christian Ross 1 for 4. Severio doing a good job, but does he have enough in the tank to finish offensively after a good defensive drive? And yes, taking the shooter of the year to school off the dribble for the Mobile One drive, skipping through that. I love it. I love it. Chris Jackson bringing the ball up the floor. Berlin wants to call a timeout and stop the little bit of bleeding that is starting to, leak out here. CBC with an 8-point lead. Ariel Severio happy about that one. He's in the chat turning up. Shout out to my guy Thaddeus Hill in the building. Thaddeus Hill, power forward in our high school 1 series. Big shout out to my guy showing love, stopping by. He's always tuned in, man. One of the most active high school series guys. And if you haven't already, go tune into our high school series, man. We have a playlist of the top 30 camp. That camp was a movie. Trust me, if you missed that, you definitely want to go back and tune into that. Top 30 camp was just legit, man. Oh, Christian Jackson determined on that drive right there. He would not be denied, and he's going to slam it home. 6-point lead for Canarias. Jaden Blue looks like he was trying to answer, but no, gets it to Ariel Severio, lines up the nice 3, but that one is off the mark. SBA community, talk to me. The commish is here. Tyon Nickerson in the chat. Big shout out to my guy Purge, aka Psycho T. Tyrone Webster with the steal. And this is what I love about CBC, just so aggressive on the defensive end, man. You gotta love it. Shout out to my guy Zanati, aka Zanu Fenton, the offensive player of the year here in OT1. The miss right there by Ariel Severio. Russ Macy bringing it up the floor. Let me get them hashtag our leads in the chat, fellas. Yes, sir. Let me see who's rocking with us. Love to Christian Jackson. 3-pointer on the way. No good. Tyrone Webster with the board. Gets it to Tom Ellis Jr. Still a 6-point lead for Canarias. Both teams still playing pretty much good defense. And I don't think the ice is completely broken yet. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot more offense. The more that both of these guys, catch the floor of the game. And get those early game jitters out the way. Christian Jackson, nice ball movement from Berlin right here. 5 seconds left, though. They got to get something going. Christian Ross going to have to take a tough shot over the MVP, but it goes in. Beautiful look right there. Shooter of the year hitting the midi over the defensive player of the year. And that time, offense won the battle. Let's see if Ariel Severio can answer back. Tries to get separation, takes a midi of his own. But Christian Ross, pardon me, with good defense. Christian Jackson bringing it up the floor. Gets it back to C. Ross. They're trying to go right at these guys right now. I'm loving the ball movement, but still loving the pace of Berlin. 2 seconds for Love. He's going to have to put up a 3. I don't like that shot. Want to see something going to the hole, man. Want to see them maybe try to work it inside out. Good pass from Severio to Chambers. 14-8 in favor of Canarias. Canarias shooting at 6 of 14 from the field right now. Berlin 3 of 10. Timeout Berlin once again. Trying to make sure that CBC is just not pulling away. Trying to make sure they stay within striking distance. You gotta love the chess match from Coach right there. Man, are things heating up. That combine is around the corner. I do want to meet with you guys this week. I may do a live and then do like an open house Discord live where, you know, I just want to chop it up about the combine series, let you know what type of content I want to bring to you guys, as well as get you guys input on what type of content you would like to see for the SBA combine. The SBA combine is going to consist of the top 100 players. Even though there will be more than 100 players drafted, we're just going to focus on the top 100 in the combine to really break down their game and see what they're worth, man. So, of course, this first draft is going to consist of multiple rounds because we have to fill up rosters before we go to that 2-round model. But a lot of interesting things come in. And that is a charge from Battle. D. Wade in attendance. Shout out to my guy D. Wade coming through, showing the SBA love with the Miami suede colored suit, man. Big shout out to my guy Wade. C. Ross in the building. Christian Ross saying he's trying to send these guys home. Ash Erickson checking in. Big shout out to my guy Ash Erickson, aka Eric Ashley Hardy. To the paint, no good. Good defense right there. Isley bringing it up the floor. Isley, like the feel for the game that this guy Isley got. Also, this kid Battle can be dangerous. 3-pointer off the screen, off the mark though. Gotta knock that one down. Zach Gilbert, another dangerous guy off the bench. Zach Gilbert and Hardy has been a pleasant surprise off the bench for Alba Berlin this season. No luck for Hardy. The little guy couldn't score the light bulb on that one. But a beautiful pass from Battle to Tyrone Webster, and that is an and one. Russ Macy's gonna get called for the foul. Just a little late behind the cut by Tyrone Webster, and Tyrone Webster is going to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play. Let's see if Tyrone Webster can count his penny. Yes, sir. The 5 show in the building. He said basketball has been too fire today. And yes, sir, you know the NCAA has their March Madness going on. Then the SBA got you covered with the SBA Overseas Tour 1 playoffs, man. Yes, basketball is definitely in a good place right now. Shout out to everybody in the Moolahverse. Can I get a hashtag Moolahverse in the chat? How many of my guys is just here strictly SBA? And how many of my guys here is here for the whole Moolahverse? Let me get a hashtag Moolahverse in the chat. Battle with the rock. Battle surveying the floor. What do you got? Battle wants the screen from Webster. Webster to Tate. Tate three-pointer. Line up. No good. Pickett on the board. Pickett to Curry. Curry to Hardy. Hardy, nice dribble in that lane off the mark. Webster with the board. Gets it to Battle. Let's see what Battle can do to it. Yes, sir. Moolahverse is spamming in the chat. I love to see it. A lot coming. Shout out to my guy Makai Kelsey, a.k.a. the Drip God, a.k.a. Mark Williamson. And an and one right there from Webster to make this lead increase a bit there. Free throws on the way. Can he make this? Pardon me, guys. Had to handle something. The free throw's on the way. First free throw is up. Actually, he converts the three-point play. One free throw there for Tyrone Webster. Gilbert with the rock. Gilbert gets it to Hardy. Hardy It's been aggressive, but to a fault. Isley between the legs. Isley crossover. Nice move. Step back. Oh. This guy, Jimmy Isley, only averages 7 points in these playoffs. Didn't average that much during the season either, but this guy has game, I'm telling you. Gonna be one of those guys that's gonna develop on the low, and you want to keep an eye on him. Jimmy Isley has a little bag on him. Isley to battle. Another one of those guys for CBC. CBC looking too comfortable right now. Isley, three-pointer in the corner, off the mark. Pickett with the rebound. We haven't seen Sean Duncan check in yet, and he is walking to the table right now. Sean Duncan, of course, probably one of the most forgotten users in the series. Wasn't like, you know, the most important role player on his team. You know, kind of just had a tough outing this season. Kind of had to find his role. OJ, the juice man, so determined right there with the little tip. And right now, Canarias just wants it way more. Canarias off to a nice lead in that first quarter, winning 24-8. That is a great way to start the first quarter. Christian Ross with a nice little shot right there. But it has been the defense, as you can see, of CB Canarias that has really put this offensive-minded team of Alba Berlin in a box and in a bind. CBC, the scrappy team that we've grew to love all season, really taking it to the offensive powerhouse of Alba Berlin, man. And 24-8, such a great first quarter, but let's see how long they can keep this fire out. Alba looking to talk some things over. Like I said, Sean Duncan in the game. Sean Duncan has been getting better with the season. Let's see if he can have an impact on this game. Shooter of the year, gets a good look. And anytime he gets a little bit of daylight, he's going to make you pay. The closeout was there, but just a half second too late, man. You know how dangerous Christian Ross could be when he gets just a little glare of daylight. Good defense right there from Alba. And now Alba's starting to put some defense on against CBC. Let's go. Sean Duncan, what do you have? We know that this kid is talented, but let's see if he can put it together and help his team in this very important win to go home matchup here in the playoffs. Christian Ross, mid-range jump shot off the mark. Savario bringing it up. Savario, what do you have for us? Savario to the young Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue, 9 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they want to get it to the juice man, but good defense by Christian Ross. Blue, nice 1-2 punch from Jaden Blue to Tyrone Webster. Tyrone Webster with the slam. Shout out to my guy Malik Brooks checking in. AK41, talk to me. Shout out to my guy Malik Brooks, point guard, I believe in our high school 2 series. Yes, sir. So he will be starting in at HS2. Remember, high school season 1 begins April 3rd. If you haven't already, go check out the high school season 1 top 30 camp. And if you're interested, be sure to, you know, fill out that application and join us for season 2 of HS2. You know what I'm saying? Season 2 of the SBA. We're pre-taking applications for high school. The way that we're doing the SBA next season, you have to start off in high school from now on. You can't just join up and join a different series how we had it before. Now everybody would have to start off with the high school class. So if you're interested, man, in becoming a basketball player in the Moolahverse, be sure to follow us on IG at SBA.2K and get to that application, or leave a comment here on YouTube and we'll be sure to get to you. Shout out to my guy Slicko Mode in the building. Johnny Slick, shooting guard of Oklahoma, declared for the draft after reclassing up. So the guy's supposed to technically be a freshman going into college, but he's going to the SBA draft. What a story. Can't wait to see how that gets it to Christian Ross. Christian Ross looking to be aggressive, but the Cookie Monster caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and the ref's going to call that one a foul. Side out. Jonathan Love taking it out Let's see what he has. Jonathan Love gets it to Christian Jackson. Chris Jack, what do you have? He wants to screen from the shooter of the year. Nice pass out of his shot, and oh no. Christian Ross missing that three. That is a rare sighting right there. Shooter of the year missing an open three from the corner. Very rare. Jaden Blue, tough shot off of the screen, off the mark. Rebounded by the shooter of the year though. Christian Jackson putting a move on. Gets it to Love. Love. 6 seconds left on the clock. Shout out to my guy Eddie B, point guard of the SBA Select here in the overseas tour. And that is a good block right there from Tom Ellis Jr. Christian Ross trying to get it going inside out. But the defense of CBC is meeting him right at the rim. Tom Ellis Jr. could have put them up 20 right there with that three. But it is off the mark. And now Christian Jackson in attack mode. Going to draw the foul against Jaden Blue and head to the line for two. Let's see if Christian Jackson can knock his penny counters down. First one is up and it is good. Pennies super important here in the playoffs. And Christian Jackson, man, cannot afford to leave anything at the line. We've seen these games come down to the free throws time and time again. Second free throw, Swiss cheese, nothing but net, 2 for 2, 28-13 in favor of CBC. Jaden Blue with the rock. Blue wants the screen from Webster. Blue with another tough leaning three, but Webster bails him out with that tip in there. And Tyrone Webster just looking like way too much early on in this matchup for Russ Macy. Russ Macy was the big man of the year, but Tyrone Webster taking it right to him. But Sean Duncan knocking down his first shot of the night to put Alba within 14 points. Here we go. There goes that boy Sean Duncan. Like I told you, wasn't the most pivotal role player, but getting better with each game. And the young Jaden Blue answering right back with a three of his own. This kid so tough. Time out. Alba Berlin. Shout out to my guy Olin in the building. Head of statistics here in the SBA. This guy Olin is a machine. One of my favorite front office members. Don't tell the rest of the staff that I said that. But big shout out to my guy Olin. Let me get a hashtag Olin in the chat, man. He plays a huge part in everything that goes on here in the SBA. So when you see him, make sure you salute him if you're part of the Mullah-verse. Nice move right there from Jonathan Love, but off the mark. Chambers loses the ball. Good defense. Berlin starting to play some defense now. This is what they're going to need to come back. Sean Duncan up and under. Nice attempt. But no luck from Sean Duncan on that one. Ariel Severio bringing it up. Taking it right to the defense, and he's going to be fouled. Love the aggressiveness from Sean Duncan. The move was beautiful, but just got to finish. Like I was telling you guys earlier, Sean Duncan, a lot of potential from that young guy. Just got to see if he can string it together consistently and, you know, step up and take on a bigger role for his team. Sean Duncan definitely has a lot of talent, but just wasn't able to string it together too consistently. Still has, you know, a postseason to string it together, but it'll be interesting to see how this guy fares. Second free throw, off the mark for Ariel Severio, but Chambers gets the offensive board, smokes the finish though, and Russ Macy's gonna get the rebound. Hardy with the rock. Chris Jackson, another user player, gets it to the shooter of the year, Christian Jackson. Nice ball movement from Berlin, and it leads to the sweet jump shot, Swiss cheese, nothing but net for Christian Jackson on this one. And Christian Jackson, another one of them quiet users, did play pretty well, you know. Numbers not that bad, but a quiet user. And I can't wait to see where his, you know, career unfolds here, how his career unfolds here in the SBA. Would like to see him get more active, earn some of that SC so he can develop. But, you know, as long as he's putting in that work, doesn't matter. He's still here. He's still in the postseason. Three-pointers up. No good. That one is off the mark Welcome to the Simulation Basketball Association. If you're new here, Jaden Blue once again will not be denied. Looked like he was going for the slam, switched up mid-air, and that was a highlight if I know one. The young Jaden Blue really taking over right now. Woo! Wow, Jaden Blue, what a move. And CBC just wants it more right now. They are taking it right to Berlin. And in this winner-go-home matchup, it is looking like CBC is trying to come away with the upset. Of course, they were the 3rd seed compared to Berlin, who were the 2nd seed, if I'm not mistaken. However, right now, you cannot tell. Ross trying to work on the Defensive Player of the Year. No good. And Christian Ross been trying to get it going inside out, but Ariel Severio has been right on his hip every step of the way, making every shot difficult, and you gotta love it. And I'm loving the game from this kid right here, Jaden Blue. The young point guard is in his bag, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. He couldn't have picked a better time than now to really turn it on. And if I'm not mistaken, he had a big game early in the postseason. Good tough play right there from Hardy. I told you, it reminds me of a Kyle Lowry. And you see what I mean there from Jesse Hardy. Even though he's not playing good in this game, just so determined, such a strong guard. And he's one of the bigger guards, even though he's a short guy. Has some weight on him. A beautiful skip through from Ariel Severio, but the floater just off the mark. Christian Ross with it. Christian Ross sizing up the defense. Now they're going to get it to Hardy. 10 viewers live. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at SBA.2K. Can I get a hashtag Our League in the chat? The shooter of the year with a wild shot. Ew. Don't mind the range. Don't mind the selection. But that fade is terrible right there. Christian Ross. Ugly shot. 3 for 10 right now. 8 points. CBC has him frustrated, but Alba is playing defense. Christian Ross on the break. He's going to be fouled. Headed to the line for 2. Big shout out to the guys in the chat participating, giving me this energy. Farrell Reigns, Eric Ashley, Ariel Severio. Truly appreciate you guys, man. Olin. Guys are always lurking, man. The guys are always here. Shout out to my guy Slicko. Yes, sir. And ain't no party like a SBA party, cause a SBA party don't stop. Yeah, I know we always got to get a music reference going in there. And a well-deserved, well-timed rest for Ariel Severio and a young shooter, Jaden Blue. My guy Duke Spliff tuning in. Shout out to my guy Duke. From the shooter of the year, Christian Ross. This first half has been really controlled by CBC. It's been all CBC in this first half. And can the MVP bring it home? OJ Alberger. Nice mid-range shot that we know he's capable of hitting. But that one is off the mark. Zach Gilbert with the rock. Gilbert looking to set something up. It looks like they want to go with Sean Duncan. Sean Duncan got the rock. He wants it off the screen. Sean Duncan, tough take in the lane. And the shot is off the mark, but he's going to earn a trip to the line. Let's see if Sean Duncan can count his pennies. First free throw on its way for Sean. Good. 23-40. Can he make this a 16-point game? Christian Ross is going to get a rest, but he's going to have to go figure out something with his coaches and coordinators on the sideline, man, because if he doesn't turn up, if him and Russ Macy doesn't begin to turn up, there may be some trouble here in Berlin. The crowd may not go home happy. The Jukes man, tough 3. With a hand in his face. Not sure if I like that shot, but I know he's capable of hitting it. Alba Berlin with the rock. Hardy trying to set up the play. Will he go to Zach or will he go to Duncan? That's the usual culprits for this bench unit. He's going to call his own number. And had Pickett wide open in the corner. bad play right there from Hardy, just forcing it, and a step back right there from Juice, a bit forced as well. And Alba's going to live to see another day. Good pass right there from Sean Duncan to Zach Gilbert. And like I said, those are the usual suspects who can hurt you off the bench for this Alba Berlin team. You got to love the chemistry from those guys right there on a nice passing cut from Zach. Good defense right there from Pickett. Not letting anything through in the paint. Pickett, man, one of the smaller power forwards in this league. Really like a small forward, power forward hybrid, but the guy plays a lot bigger than his size, and I love the effort and the heart from Pickett, man. Big shout out to that guy. He's a generic, but he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Three-pointer off the mark, and now Berlin is ringing, ladies and gentlemen. Berlin is hot. Hardy with the rock. He gets it to Sean Duncan. Sean Duncan puts a move on, spins in a lane. Nice move, but doesn't control the rock. Zach Gilbert gets it. Almost lost it, but Zach. Beautiful mid-range look off of the broken play after Sean Duncan tried to go to the hole and was stripped. Zach corrals the loose ball and then takes the defense to school. Good defense from Sean Duncan to force the jump ball. And Alba Berlin really beginning to play defense. How about both teams trading roles here? The offensive team looking defensive in this game, and the defensive team looking offensive. So Alba Berlin, as they're cutting into this lead, man, really looking decent. Another good look from Sean Duncan in the corner, and that is his second three of the night. Sean Duncan has 8 points on 2 of 3 shooting, and he has his team within 9 points. Him and Zach Gilbert off the bench, those guys that I was telling you about. Good defense by the big man of the year, Russ Macy, and Sean Duncan is hot. Let's see if he elects to go for a heat check or they call somebody else number. Hardy for 3, and Hardy's still cold. Hardy's been good in these playoffs, but right now he's hurting his team, and once again, Pickett. I told you guys to watch Pickett, and Pickett with the block. Sean Duncan trying to put a move on the Juice Man. Let's see if Sean wants to keep it. Sean, oh, looked like he was about to force a double, but no. Good ball movement from Berlin. Zach wants the 3. Zach can't knock it down, but at the half, Berlin able to cut that lead by a large margin. They were down by 20 at one point. Only down 9. Great run right there from Berlin. And let me get those halves in the chat, guys. See the guys in the chat. Take a look at the bracket. If you ask me, it has been all CBC in this one. Outside of that last run by the bench of Berlin to end the second quarter. Look at these guys. Tyrone Webster doing a good job on Russ Macy defensively and then running the floor offensively. Ariel Severio being aggressive, what he's known for, why he won the MVP. And if you take a look at the bracket, man, Virtus and the Select has moved on to the conference finals. Hapoel Tel Aviv with the big-time upset over Milano. And then Alba Berlin right now in a winner-go-home versus CBC. The playoffs have been a movie. And we are going to have a live stream podcast, guys, to wrap up the entire first round. So stay tuned for that later in the week. Because before we get to round 2, we definitely got to get a podcast going. Tyrone Webster 10-9 for CBC, and then Russ Macy 8-9-3 for Berlin. Both big men putting on for their team in this winner-go-home matchup. I do think, though, that Tyrone Webster is kind of winning this matchup. Russ Macy's right there, but I got to give it to Tyrone Webster. He's been taking it right to the big man of the year. And they're not going to even... Okay. Yes, they are. They're going to keep starters. No, they're actually going to start with Sean Duncan. They're going to give Sean Duncan the start of the second half. Let me get those threes in the chat. He starts off with a miss. But an interesting lineup right now for Alba Berlin, going with all of their users, but a great finish, and peep the celebration from Ariel Severio. Whoa! The MVP going in his bag. Did you guys peep the celebration? Sean Duncan wants the ISO. Sean Duncan pulled back, looking to work on Tom Ellis. Good defense from Tom Ellis. Sean Duncan step back three. And Sean Duncan picks up where he left off. D-Wade clapping it up, showing us some love here, and I love it, man. D-Wade is tuned in for these playoffs. You gotta love the NBA legends starting to show love to the SBA here, trying to see what's up. They know that SBA draft is coming, so they out here showing love, making sure they stopping by these games. And it's crazy because Eric Ashley said that Sean Duncan was his pick for a breakout game. He actually did. I remember that message. He was in the Discord like, man, you know what if Sean steps up in this game? And Sean is usually one of them role players that could give us a few plays for Berlin off the bench, but he has really led the charge to cut into this lead. And my guy Ash might have called it. Ariel Severio, free throw is good. Second free throw is on the way. Even if Sean Duncan is going to get hot, though, they got to find the answer for the MVP. This man right here. Second free throw. Good. 2 for 2. Swiss cheese. Nothing but net. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Let me get a hashtag Our League. If you're new here, welcome to the SBA. We are the Simulation Basketball Association, where anything is possible. Sean Duncan trying to put a move on. Tom Ellis Jr. really doing a good job of guarding Sean Duncan, though. He has to work for everything, man. Not mad that Coach Berlin is trying to ride the hot hand of his user, Sean Duncan. But Tom Ellis Jr. is really, really making him earn every bit of this game right here. Pickett off the inbound. Pickett. Let's see what you got. Pickett gets it to Sean Duncan. 5 seconds left on the clock. Sean gets the screen from the shooter of the year, Mitty. Oh my God. Sean Duncan is taking over. 13 points on 4 of 6 from the field. And right now, him and Jaden Blue is leading the charge with Ariel Severio, calming guys down, saying, okay, guys, Sean was a role player. I'm the MVP. And what a way to answer right there from the MVP. Sean Duncan looking to go right back at Tom Ellis Jr. And now he wants to screen from Ross again. Goes for that same shot from deeper, though. Don't like that play right there. Come on. Got to switch it up now, Sean. At least he gets back on defense, but the MVP trying to go right back at him. The MVP with a beautiful pass. And Devin Chambers with the lay-in. Beautiful setup right there on the Mobile 1 drive. But I love the setup from the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, Ariel Severio. Big shout out to my guy, Honcho, coach in the high school series. He's also a point guard here in the overseas tour. Goes by the name of Shah Hall, Mr. 5'9". If you tune into this series, then you definitely know who Mr. 5'9 is. Sean Duncan starting to cool off now. A bit aggressive to a fault now. He's starting to cool off and he's forcing things. And now CBC is taking advantage of that. Jaden Blue trying to keep his hot streak going. But that three-pointer is off the mark. Fast break for Berlin now. Let's see what Berlin has. The shooter of the year working against the defensive player of the year. No luck. And Berlin is going to slow it down. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button. This is the Simulation Basketball Association. We are the fastest growing simulation league out there. And a great defensive effort by CBC to force the shot clock violation. If you want more of this, follow us on IG at SBA.2K or drop a comment here on a YouTube video, man. We have a ton of content that you're not going to want to miss here in the Moolahverse. Nice shot right here. Open three from Ariel Severio off the mark, man. Got to knock that one down if you're the MVP to draw more distance and create a larger gap here. That one not able to go. Christian Jackson with the rock, surveying the floor. 4 seconds left for Christian Jackson. Midi looks good and no good, though. Rebound by Tom Ellis Jr. and CBC, man. Like I said, just such a scrappy defensive team. And the fact that they were able to have it clicking early on offense, they are locked and loaded. Ellis Jr. 3 seconds left on the clock. He has to put a move on. Tough shot over the smaller Christian Jackson. And Tom Ellis Jr. showing you guys he got some offense as well as defense in his bag. But this is what I love about CBC, man. They're really a defensive-orientated team. And as you can see, it has served them well. They have gotten this far. Pickett off the pick and roll. And even though he's one of the smaller fours in the league, he's still very effective in that pick and roll situation, man. Ariel Severio skipping through that lane. And Christian Ross and Russ Macy just too late. 13 points on 38% from the field in 19 minutes for the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, Ariel Severio. Love, the veteran, what do you have here? Love, trying to get a quality look, mid-range, tough shot from, looks like behind the rim, but he follows it and gets his own rebound. Wow, gotta love the effort right there. And the Shooter of the Year, Mitty. Ew. Good shot selection, but just off the mark. The Shooter of the Year usually knocks that one down, but that one just off the mark, man. Christian Ross, uncharacteristic of him there. Jaden Blue off the screen, Mitty, no good, but Webster with the rebound. And Tyrone Webster headed to the line for two. I'm telling you, he's been taking it to Russ Macy all series long. And look at them being petty. He's talking trash to the crowd. Acting like he doesn't see Russ Macy in front of him. Russ Macy is acting like he doesn't see him neither. And these guys have really been battling all series long. But who's going to win it all and move on to the next round, and who's going to go home empty-handed? Tyrone Webster knocks down the free throw, extends the lead. Can he knock down both from the penny counter? Jaden Blue going to get a rest. And the second free throw on its way from Webster's going to roll off the rim. Russ Macy a bit fatigued. I don't think he's been subbed out the game. I don't think him or Webster has been subbed out the game. But that's how it gets in the playoffs. And Christian Ross bailed out right there. I don't think he really had anywhere to go. I think he was just trying to force it there. But the refs are still going to give him the foul. And can the Shooter of the Year knock down both of his pennies? First one good. 11 points on the night for him. Both teams going with some changes here. Second free throw up, good, 40-53, 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. CBC definitely staying aggressive, and that's what they're going to need to do if they want to keep that lead. They got to stay aggressive, keep taking it right to Alba Berlin, because you know if Alba Berlin get hot, man, they can be dangerous and they can run away and sneak this and steal this victory away from CBC, because it's honestly been CBC's game all game long. But Alba Berlin is still within striking reach, so they can still cause some trouble. And I don't like the fact that Sean Duncan just held the ball to shoot a three there. I know you've been hot, but don't get ahead of yourself, Sean. Nice move right there from Tate, but great defense from Russ Macy. Russ Macy is fatigued out there, hasn't been subbed, but he is giving it his all. Sean Duncan looking to be aggressive, still got his foot on the gas. Jonathan Love wants the screen. Pick and pop with Russ Macy. Three-pointer on its way. And Russ Macy, the big man of the year, knocks it down to make this a 10-point game. Let's see if Isley can answer back off the screen from Tyrone Webster. Russ Macy with the good defensive effort and the rebound right there. Russ Macy starting to fight back. Gotta love it. Chris Jackson gets it to Christian Ross off the screen. 2 seconds left. Deep three from the Shooter of the Year. Ew. Another deep ill-advised shot. When you're down like that, trying to make a run and get back into it, you can't have empty possessions like that. Ariel Severio, the MVP, has to pick up his dribble. Good defensive effort right there from Christian Jackson. Juice Man trying to get some room, but the defense of Alba is all over him and Ariel Severio on that one. And Alba Berlin is playing good defense. They're getting stops, but they are not executing at a consistent basis on the offensive end. Christian Ross gets a nice look from three, and the Shooter of the Year knocks it down off the pass from Sean Duncan. Sean Duncan has been hooping, man. Definitely playing his role well in this matchup, and you gotta love it if you're CBC. But the MVP with a beautiful move, however, Great defensive effort. A lot of contact on that. Could have been a foul. But I don't know. Christian Ross aggressive again, and I like it. But even better defense from CBC. This team just so scrappy. No quitting them, especially on that defensive end. The MVP to Isley from the corner, and Isley, such a pivotal role player, just couldn't knock that one down. That would have been big to get them back within 10 and stop this Berlin run. But Tyrone Webster says, I'm going to stop the run by getting a steal. And Tyrone Webster, one of the best defensive bigs in the league. But his hard work went to nothing. They took a quick bad shot, and it led to a three from the veteran Jonathan Love. And now it is a 4-point game for Alba Berlin. The crowd is into it, and CBC may be in trouble. Down by 4 right now. This Berlin crowd is going crazy. And like I told you guys, it can go that fast. A league can go that fast when you're dealing with Alba Berlin, man. Alba is playing defense. It's like both of these teams have switched roles. Alba's starting to lock in and do some of the things that we loved and seen defensively from CBC. So this is interesting, because if Alba could start to heat up their offense the way that we know them for, but continue to play this level of defense, things can get very interesting. Beautiful shot from Isley. I told you, man, this guy is just such a good role player for this team. Both benches in. Let's see what they go with. Duncan led the charge off the bench last time, and Duncan going to the hole, drawing a foul against the juice man here. And Duncan keeping his foot on the gas. He has been aggressive to a fault at times, shooting 4 for 9. That is not bad. But I'm liking that Sean Duncan is taking matters into his own hands. Misses the first free throw, though. Ew. But let's see if he can knock down the second one and make this a 5-point game. First free throw, second free throw up. Good. 50 to 55. 1 minute left in the third. Sean Duncan with a steal. And Sean Duncan has came to play in this one. Wow. He is answering the call at the right moment. Big shout out to Ash for calling this one. I can't believe it. Sean Duncan really putting on a show. And let's see if he can help his team come all the way back. Pickett, another guy that I was telling you guys to watch, with the put back there, undersized 4. But he is playing big in this game. Battle to Chambers. Chambers for 3. Off the mark with Webster. Silencing the crowd again. Pointing to this bicep. Showing them these guys are too small for me. Both of these teams really seem to want it. The closer that we get to this fourth quarter. Sean Duncan. 3-pointer is good. Comes off the screen. Not fazed by the defense at all on the closeout. And now CBC has 8 seconds on the clock. Isley gets it to Chambers. Chambers wants to work on Pickett. Chambers with a nice move. A lot of contact off the mark. No good. 2-point lead for CBC. SBA community, can I get those 4s in the chat? Oh my God, this has been a game, ladies and gentlemen. Who wants it more? Win or go home. Alba Berlin versus CB Canarias. And boy, was this worth the wait. First game of the week. Last week, we've seen so much action. Last week, if you go check out the games from last week, they were crazy, guys. The games last week was crazy. Go check them out ASAP. The first round of the playoffs have been a movie. Go check out every series. And as we close out the first week of the playoffs, the first round of the playoffs, we have another good one here. Yes, sir. Jaden Blue with the rock. Jaden Blue gets it to Isley. Isley looked like he wants the screen from Tom Ellis, but denies it. Now he gets it to the Juice Man. The Juice Man wants the screen, though. 3-pointer off the screen, and the Juice Man knocks it down. You gotta have a defender meeting the Juice Man right there, or OJ Alberg is gonna make you pay. 5-point lead for CBC. And CBC just fighting. Sean Duncan trying to go to the hole, but good defense by CBC. I think they got his number now. Isley. Pardon me, guys. I know I peaked on that one. But this game is super duper intense. A lot of non-stop action going on here in this fourth quarter. And SBA community, can I get a hashtag OT1? This game has been a doozy. Sean Duncan, 2 seconds left on the clock. Desperation shot, mid-range, no good. But Pickett fighting, offensive rebound. But the finish, no good. Just comes up short. Chambers bringing it up. Chambers with a nice pass to Tom Ellis Jr. for the aggressive slam. And now CBC back up 10, 65-55. 8 minutes, 48 seconds left. SBA community, turn me up. These playoffs have been outstanding for OT1, guys. Season 1 is only halfway through as we finish the college series, and now we're in the playoffs of the overseas tour. We still have high school series 1 and SBA season 1 left, but season 1 has already been a complete movie, guys. I can't wait to see how this journey of the SBA unfolds. Season 1 of this series have been amazing already. Let's keep this thing going. Can I get a hashtag SBA in the chat? Let's just flood the chat, guys. Let's flood it. Sean Duncan having a huge game. Coach giving him some extra minutes because he has been hot. Gets it to Chris Ross. Chris Ross for 3. And because you gotta respect the heat of Sean Duncan right now, the role player is getting the star guys back into it. And that's what you gotta love. Big shout out to my guy Eddie B in the chat. Zanatti, Slicko, Ariel, Farrow, Olin, and what a shot right there from the Juice Man. CBC on an 11-3 run, answering back every time just to get this lead back up to double digits. And you gotta love the fight of CBC. CBC just willing away at Alba Berlin. Alba Berlin is trying, but when you're used to these dog matches, and look at the guys at CBC just fighting. OJ gets blocked, but throws a beautiful alley to Tom Ellis Jr. And this CBC team is super tough. They are super tough. It is going to be hard for any team to beat this team in a series because they play defense, and then they have a guy named Ariel Savario, shooter of the year. Christian Ross with a beautiful shot there, and Alba is fighting back. Let me get a hashtag 20 in the chat as we reach the 20 viewers. That is always a goal of ours every stream, to get to 20. So let me get a hashtag SBA 20. We have reached the 20 viewers, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. This is the SBA. Follow us on IG at SBA.2K for more, and leave a comment if you want to join our league and join our cast here in the SBA. But yes, man, hashtag SBA 20. We got to 20 viewers, and you know we love that here. Back to the action, though. Jaden Blue with the rock. Jaden Blue gets it to the Juice Man. The Juice Man Euro step, passes it on the interior, but now Sean Duncan once again getting his hand on it and making something happen. Sean Duncan has showed out off of the bench today, and he's trying to leave it all on the floor for this Alba Berlin team. He wins the tip-off, and what hasn't this guy Sean Duncan did today? Three-pointer on its way from Mr. Duncan, and boy, I would have went crazy if he would have knocked that one down. This kid is trying to be in his bag. But the Juice Man with a slam. CBC 15-5 running right now. They are trying to go for the kill. CBC is officially going for the kill, just trying to knock out Berlin in this boxing match right now. Alba is definitely starting to unravel. Shout out to my guy Olin in the chat. Alba is definitely starting to unravel, but let's see if they can pick it back up. Sean Duncan with the rock. Sean Duncan wants the screen from Ross. Duncan in the lane, floater, no good. I think he had to open Russ Macy in the corner. Just elected to keep that, and that was not the decision to make. Definitely gave you a well-needed boost. But it's certain moments like that these young guys have that just hurt your team, man. Jaden Blue, three-pointer off the mark, though, and Alba still has enough time. 5 minutes left, down 12. They still have more than enough time. Jaden Blue going cold in this second half. We've seen that from him in his playoffs before, where he had a terrific first half and then kind of goes MIA in the second half. Let's see if he can pick it up, or will it be much of the same? Another three from Jaden on the way, and it is off. I'm telling you, this kid is really, he can get streaky at times. First half, he was unconscious. Second half, can't buy one. Out of bounds on that one. 12-point lead for Canarias. 5 minutes left in this game. Sean Duncan wants the screen, gets it to Pickett. Pickett trying to get it to Russ Macy, but good defense right there from Canarias. A nice pass from Tom Ellis to Jaden Blue, who finishes over the bigger Sean Duncan, and Jaden Blue finally gets one to go in his second half. 17 points on 6 of 14 shooting for the young sharpshooter. Christian Ross now wants the screen from Pickett. See Ross through that lane, and see Ross dunking it home over Tyrone Webster. 22 points on the night for Christian Ross. And that's just another day in the offense if you don't stop the ball. But Jaden Blue showing his athleticism as well, with a dunk of his own, answering right back. And if you're Alba Berlin, you can't afford to trade baskets at this point in the game. You got to start stringing some stops and getting some points, man. Here goes a three from C. Ross, but he might be running out of gas here. Midi, Chambers, good. And yeah, man, Berlin is beginning to unravel. CBC starting to coast. They are beginning to silence this crowd to a complete halt. But Russ Macy trying to give his team CPR. Give him a little bit of energy shot. Anything needed to get these guys back up. And he's going to the line for two. First free throw, good for the big man of the year. And the big man of the year will be going home if he doesn't wake up and do something for his team. Second free throw on its way from Russ. Good, both good. Swiss cheese, nothing but net. 2 for 2. Cha-ching. Blue with the rock. Blue wants the little screen. Blue, a nice little midi. And you can't afford to give Jaden Blue a look like that. 21 points for the youngin. And he's having himself a game here. In the closing game, you gotta love it, man, for your young point guard to step up like this. Jonathan Love, the vet, getting a quality shot for Berlin there, 66-80. So 14-point lead for CBC, and let's see if they stay aggressive and ramp it on. Could have been a steal right there from Christian Jackson. Didn't have his head turned, and Jaden Blue wants a wild three off the screen. Christian Jackson was right on his hip. Still elected to take the shot off the mark, and nice pass right there from Love, but even better defense from Webster on the block. And I hate to call it early, man, but if I'm being honest, CBC looks like they want it more, and it's looking like this game is over here, ladies and gentlemen. 16-point lead, and that might be all she wrote. Russ looks rattled. I agree. C. Ross. And I just think it's just the tough defense of this CBC team, man. They're very tough. C. Ross even having some troubles, man. Can't get that shot to go when he wants to, because this team is just super tough. Webster definitely outplayed Russ, and then Jaden Blue outplayed Christian Jackson. And the young Jaden Blue, man, that might have been the dagger right there. 19-point lead. Christian Ross, clean look for three, but he can't finish. And it has been a good season for Alba Berlin all year long. But I'm going to pull a plug, guys. That is all she wrote. Ariel Severio is not going to even have to check in this game. I mean, check into this fourth quarter, because his team is going to get it done in convincing fashion. Good game to CBC as they're going to move on to the next round. Alba Berlin played tough all season long, guys. I tip my hat to you guys. Christian Rohr, shooter of the year. 24-point effort on 8 of 22 in this game. But Canarias is going to be the guys that is moving on. And this chippy defensive team, man, willed their way into the postseason. And now they're going to will their way into the next round, which is the conference finals, on the back of the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, Ariel Severio. Nice three right there from C. Ross. But you know the song that I'm going to sing, guys. It's just a little too late, and you hit a three, but it got away. For season 2, it doesn't matter anyway. You know it's just a little too late. Shout out to the SBA community, man. Y'all know I always got to fool around. Drop a track on y'all for a second. Hopefully we don't get copywritten, because I sound just like her. C. Ross, album sauce, beautiful pass to Russ Macy. But it's just a little too late, fellas. CBC is going to move on. I tip my hat to my guys in the chat, and tip my hat to the guys of CBC, who is moving on to the conference finals to play against Hapoel Tel Aviv. And of course, on the other side, we got the SBA Select versus Virtus. Both conference matchups going to be huge, and I hope you guys are ready for the conference chips, man, because those are going to be best of 5. These was best of 3. Those are going to be best of 5. And then we know the finals will be the game 7. 1st to 4. Shout out to Tyrone Webster, but Jaden Blue is going to get those player of the game honors. MVP first round curse broken. My guy Ariel Severio, the MVP, has made it to the second round, which is the conference finals here in the Overseas Tour 1. And you gotta love it. CBC coming away with the victory in this one. 24 points for Jaden Blue, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. For all the new guys checking in, be sure to tune in to the live chat where the SBA community is chopping it up live. Tune in, talk to these guys, and learn about our league, man. Also, head over to IG at SBA.2K to check us out. You know, we're one of the fastest growing simulation communities out there, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of the action, guys. Trust me. Sorry, guys, a bit congested, man. Might be coming down a little cold. But Jaden Blue, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 9 of 19 from the field, 5 of 13 from the three-point line. OJ, the Juice Man, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Ariel Severio, the MVP, didn't have to do much in this one. Not a spectacular game for him, but his team able to will themselves to the victory here. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal for the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He also shot 5 of 15 from the field, 0 for 2 from the three-point line. And Tyrone Webster, who many may say is the, key to this series because of what he was able to do with Russ Macy. 13 points, 18 rebounds, 3 steals, and 4 blocks for Tyrone Webster. 5 of 7 from the field. And Tyrone Webster, man, such a problem. I believe he either led the league in blocks or rebounds. I know he was top in both categories. So he's definitely one of the top bigs in this league, and I think he was very slept on. But now, because you guys got to see him against the Big Man of the Year, in which he came out, victorious, and he's moving on, I think you're gonna get to know Tyrone Webster a lot more in these playoffs. So yeah, man, this is definitely gonna be epic to see unfold. Devin Chambers played a good game as well. 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 4 of 7 for him, all for 1 from the 3-point line. And Devin Chambers is one of my favorite guys to watch as well in this series. One of those generics and role players that, I just love to keep my eye on. He had a couple of big games during the season. And, just strings it together well for CBC, man. I always watch the role players and tune in, and he's one of them to watch, as well as Jimmy Isley and Tom Ellis Jr. So I'm not going to go into too deep details on these guys, but definitely wanted to give you guys, a little word on these players, especially since, we ain't streamed since last week. So definitely wanted to give you guys little updates on these players and what they're doing, while we, talk over these stats. So shout out to my guy Olin. Got to get my stats for him. Let me get a hashtag stats in the chat. Stats. And then on the losing side, we got Alba Berlin. 27 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 9 of 23 from the field. 5 of 12 from the 3-point line. Sean Duncan, 17 points. 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 5 of 14 from the field, 4 of 7 from the 3-point line. And Sean Duncan, man, stepped up and gave his team a nice jolt of energy. But, unfortunately, the guys that they needed to step up just wasn't able to step up. Tired game, so he was tired. But 7 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. 2 of 6 from the field was just not enough, man. Just wasn't enough. Christian Jackson didn't have a good night either. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and it was just tough, man. It was just a tough outing for Alba Berlin. Didn't get the offense going the way they wanted. Even Zach Gilbert off the bench didn't have a good game. Most of the guys off the bench who usually steps up for them didn't really do too good outside of Sean Duncan. So it was tough, man. They didn't shoot it well. And, of course, that's going to kind of be a given when you're going against this team, CBC, man. CBC has been showing all year that they're going to make it tough on scoring teams, on offensive-minded teams. They made it their identity to be a chippy defensive team all season long. And, they're going to give problems to a lot of teams in these playoffs because they pride themselves on the defensive end of the floor. So, shout out to them CBC guys, man. Got you guys stats for Olin. Let me go through these highlights real quick for some of these users to keep, and then I'm gonna take the pictures and I'm out of here, guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. It has been a doozy. These playoffs have been a movie. We are moving on to the conference finals, guys. And yes, we have been really moving at a great pace. Conference finals, almost done it. We're only, about to touch April. So 4 of 12 months, and we're already done with, half a season. So I think our goal of being, not taking a year to get a full season done, we're well on our way to surpass that goal of not taking a year. We started in November. We're only in about to be in April, so this December, January, February, March, April, that's 5 months. We still got 7 months to spare to finish this season before our goal, and I've been loving the progress, man. I've been loving what we've been coming up with as a staff, loving what the systems that we've came up with. I love our communication. No big me's and no little you's. Everybody is like, on a level playing field. Everybody, is giving their opinions, giving their ideas, and trying to, just utilize and capitalize on their skill sets to, just bring a better league for everyone. So I've definitely been appreciating that from you guys, and let's just keep this thing going, man. The SBA has been fun to call, fun to run, fun to watch, and let's just keep going from top to bottom. Also, like I said, if you haven't already, follow us on IG at SBA.2K. Leave a comment. Season 2 applications are up. So even though we're in Season 1, you still can sign up for Season 2. Don't forget that. Yeah, man, Pro Series is about to be a movie. It's around the corner. High School Series is around the corner. And it's just gonna be just super fun, man. Everything's just gonna be super duper fun to watch unfold. See my guy Sean Duncan highlights. He had a big game. You gotta love it.